Hey guys, it's Emily, and today I am sharing my Believathon Tbr. So I am so excited for this round of Believathon hosted by Gavin over at How to Train Your Gavin because I have been wanting to participate in this readathon for a while. I missed it when it happened last year. I missed the mini round that happened in May because of time issues, and so I am very glad to finally be able to participate in this wonderful readathon. So this is a month-long readathon that celebrates middle grade and that will be taking place throughout the entire month of November. The theme for this round of Believathon is the mystery of the missing Maleficarum. So it's kind of a mystery thriller story that Gavin has put together, and I am so excited because he has truly outdone himself. I bought the compendium right here, and it's such a wonderful booklet. I love how there's a little bit about each of the authors that were featured in the announcement video, which I will leave linked in the description box down below, as well as Gavin's channel if you guys want to check that out. And there's also recommendations and just reading challenge updates where you can write a little review for the books that you read for each of the challenges. And I'm just very excited, and I think it's a perfect time to have a mystery thriller themed readathon because I mean, it's fall, so this is perfect. And you don't have to read mystery thrillers. You just have to read middle grade books. So I'm very excited for this round. And so without further ado, let's dive into my TBR. So the way this readathon works is that we are trying to gather clues to find the missing Maleficarum. We have a manor with a map that Gavin has put together, and we can move around the manor in order to find the clues. The first clue that we need to get is a key, and for that we have to read a mystery. And personally, I chose The Mystery of Black Hollow Lane by Julia Noble. So this is a book that was on my fall reading list. I will leave that video linked up above if you guys want to check that out. But I'm very excited to read this because Lexi over at Alexandra Roseland has described this book as dark academia for middle graders, and I am so excited because dark academia has been the hot topic of the moment with the season. Everyone's been talking about dark academia. I'm sure you've seen a lot of dark academia recommendations and stuff like that going around on YouTube, and so I am really excited to dive into this one because I haven't really read any dark academia book this fall, even though I really wanted to, but I just haven't gotten around to it, and I feel like this one is going to be perfect. And as the title suggests, it is a mystery, so this is going to be perfect for this challenge. As far as I know, this book is about a girl who goes to a boarding school, and I think there she either enters a secret society or she finds one or something like that, but I know there are secret societies involved and it's a boarding school setting, so I'm sure I am going to love this, and I've heard great things about it, so I'm looking forward to reading it. Clue number 2 is the fingerprints, and for that we have to read a book from an author that comes from a different culture as you. So I chose Arusha and the End of Time by Roshni Chokshi. So this is the first book in the Arusha quartet, I guess, and I am very excited to read this. This is under the Rick Riordan Presents imprint, and I've been wanting to read more books from that imprint because I love everything mythology, and so I thought this would be a great way for me to discover new authors and just dive into different cultures, but I haven't really gotten around to that. And so this is the first book in the Rick Riordan imprint that I'm reading, and I'm very excited because this is from an author that I believe is Indian. This features Hindu mythology, and I know Roshni Chokshi is not from the same culture as I am, so I'm very excited for this book. I've read other books by Roshni Chokshi in the past and I have enjoyed them, so I'm really looking forward to reading her middle grade series. Prompt number 3 is The Scream. For that we have to read a book out loud or listen to an audiobook. So I will be choosing the audiobook route, and I'm going to be reading The Land of Stories by Chris Colfer. So I have a viewer who asked me a while back to buddy read this book with them, and I just never got around to it, so we've pushed it back, and I think we're going to do it in November. And when I found out that Chris Colfer, the author, is also narrating the audiobook, I just thought that this would be perfect. So I don't know too much about this series because this is the first book in the series, but I think it has fairy tales involved somehow, but I don't know much about the plot. But I know it's a long series, so if I end up liking the first one I can always continue on, and I'm looking forward to listening to this story. Clue number 4 is The Torn Page, and for that I have to read a book with a supernatural element. So I chose A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison. So I believe this is a book about 3 sisters, and there's a curse that has been put on their family, and I think this is kind of a witchy kind of book. I don't know too much about it. I know that everyone on booktube raves about this, especially Gavin, but also Lexi and Kaylin. I've really enjoyed this, so I am looking forward to it. I've heard great things about Michelle Harrison as an author as well, so I am really looking forward to it. I don't know too much about the plot of this, but I mean, if there are witches involved and a curse, I am sure there is a supernatural element involved. Clue number 5 is The Crown, and for that we have to read a book that is set in a world that is alternate to our own. Personally, I have chosen Wondersmith, The Calling of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. So this is the sequel to Nevermore, which I read earlier this year and absolutely loved. This series follows Morgan Crow, who is told that she's going to die on her 11th birthday, but instead she gets swept away to this new world with this magical school, and I really enjoyed the first one, and so I'm really looking forward to reading this sequel. I also purchased the UK edition, and look at how gorgeous it is. It's absolutely stunning. And then oh my god, this is stunning. Like the US covers are so ugly compared to the UK editions. I mean, oh my god. And it's also super big, way taller and way like wider than the US edition, but it's so pretty. Anyway, I am very excited to read this for this prompt because I've been meaning to continue reading the series, and so I'm very excited to read on Wondersmith. I've been told by many people that this is even better than Nevermore, and since I absolutely adored Nevermore, I'm just really looking forward to reading Wondersmith. So clue number 6 is the spilled ink, and for that I have to read a book that features ghosts. So personally, I have chosen a graphic novel because I have quite the extensive TBR and I needed a graphic novel, so I decided to go with Sheets by Brenna Thumler. So I don't know too much about the plot of this, but I know it follows a 13-year-old girl, I believe. I don't know if she works in the laundromat, but she meets a ghost there and they become friends of some sort. I don't know. It sounded very cute, very fun, and it's a graphic novel, so I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it. I've been told that this is quite sad, so I guess we'll see. Clue number 7 is The Dagger, and for that I have to read a book that is set in a dangerous setting. So personally, I have chosen The Eye of the North by Sinead O'Hart. So this comes recommended by Gavin. It's actually mentioned in the compendium. I don't know too much about the plot of this, but I believe that there's an adventure involved. They go to Paris. I think there's like a beast or some kind of like sea creature going on. A boat is involved. I know nothing about the plot, but I was very captured by this cover, and I mean, if Gavin recommends it, I'm sure I'm going to love it. Clue number 8 is The Backpack, and for that I have to read a book from an author that is new to you, so new to me. I have picked Book Scavenger by Jennifer Chambliss Bertman. I love the premise of this book. It's basically like a scavenger hunt involving books and like puzzles. I believe this takes place in San Francisco, and I don't know, you tell me that there's puzzles and books involved and I am in. I just love the concept of this so much. I am so excited to read this, and I have never read anything by Jennifer Chambliss Bertman, and so I am very much looking forward to reading this. Clue number 9 is The Footprints, and for that we have to read a book that features a prominent villain. So I will be reading The Tyrant's Tomb by Rick Riordan. This is the 4th book in the Trials of Apollo series, and this features a very prominent villain from the beginning of the book. So this is perfect because I have been meaning to read this book for a while. I started in August. For some reason I put it down and I just haven't picked it up again, so I thought I would keep it for Believathon because it's a middle grade book. I love Rick Riordan. I love everything that he writes. I need to continue the series. I feel like this one is going to be amazing because I already started it, and already there were characters from previous books like the Heroes of Olympus series, and I am just so excited to continue on. I love the whole world that Rick Riordan has created. Clue number 10 is The End Mirror, and for that we have to read a book with a beautiful cover. Obviously I could have picked any of the books that I just showed you guys, or any of the books that are on my TBR, to be quite honest, because middle grade books have some of the most beautiful covers, like hands down. So I could have picked pretty much anything for this, but I went with Kidnap on the California Comet by Sam Segman and M.G. Leonard. This is the sequel to The Highland Falcon Thief, which I read earlier on this year, and it's one of my favorite books. Like, I loved it so much. It is one of my favorite middle grades, but just one of my favorite books like all around. I enjoyed it immensely. I love the whole mystery aspect of it, and I'm really looking forward to reading the sequel. I've been wanting to dive into it as soon as I finished the first book, but I kept it because I knew that this was going to be perfect for Believathon. And I mean, look at this beautiful cover. Like, it's absolutely stunning, and even like the back also looks really pretty. And I love books that are set on trains. You guys know that I have a thing for trains, so I'm really looking forward to reading this new adventure. This one takes place in the US, which is going to be a change of scenery, so I am really looking forward to continuing this series. Clue number 11 is The Chain, and for that we have to read a book with a colorful cast of characters. And personally I have chosen Tilly and the Map of Stories by Anna James. This is a 3rd book in the Pages & Co series, which I absolutely love. I am very much looking forward to reading this, especially after the last book, because I feel like it left us on such a cliffhanger. Basically in the series we're following Tilly, who is able to bring her favorite book characters to life. She's also able to travel to different books, and it's such a wonderful story. I love the cozy setting, but also the characters, because this series features such a wonderful cast of characters. We have Tilly and her friend Oscar. We also have Tilly's family, and there's just a lot of people involved, and everyone is just so wonderful. I just love the series so much, and I'm very excited for this one because I think it will bring us to the US, which I'm very excited about. There's a little bit of traveling involved, and so I am really looking forward to seeing where Tilly will go in this story, and not only like in terms of actual locations, but also like which books will she travel to. Clue number 12 12 is The Flash of Lightning, and for that we have to read a book that incorporates folk tales. Personally, I went with another Rick Riordan book, and this one is The Red Pyramid. So this is the first book in the Kane Chronicles series, and this is the only Rick Riordan series that I have never read, so I thought it would be appropriate for me to finally read it. I think there's going to be a Netflix adaptation or some kind of adaptation. I don't know if it's Netflix, but I think it's getting adapted by Rick Riordan, so I'm very excited. I love Egyptian mythology, and I feel like I haven't read a lot of books about that kind of mythology, and I love Rick Riordan, so I'm really looking forward to this one. I've heard great things about it, and I believe that Percy and Adabeth also make an appearance in this series, so I'm looking forward to it. So the 13th and final clue for this readathon is The Shadow, and for that we have to read a book that was first published in 2020. Once again, I went with one of Gavin's recommendation, and I chose The Magic in Changing Your Stars by Leah Anderson. So from what I know about this book, this follows this young boy who wants to be a dancer, and I believe that he has to audition for this Wizard of Oz production, and he puts on these magical shoes that will bring him to the 1930s where his grandpa was also a dancer. And so I'm excited to read this. I think this is kind of like a Wizard of Oz retelling in a way, and I'm very excited to see how that's going to be incorporated into this book. I also love everything about dance. I used to be a dancer, and so I love books that incorporate dancing in some way, so I'm really hoping that I will enjoy this. This is also by an author of color, so I'm really glad to be supporting a book that not only was published in the middle of this pandemic, but also that was written by an author of color. So that is it for my TBR for Believathon. I have quite the collection. As you can tell, I have quite the TBR, and that's excluding the audiobook and the book that I'm still missing at the moment. But I'm very excited to be participating. I cannot wait for November. Well, as you're watching this is November 1st, but as I'm filming this, it's a little bit before, and I cannot wait for November 1st because I cannot wait to dive into my Believathon TBR. I'm so excited to be reading all of the things. If you guys want to see what I'm going to be reading in what order, what I think about these books, make sure to hit that subscribe button because I will be doing weekly reading vlogs for Believathon, which I'm very excited about. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you are also participating in Believathon, please let me know in the comments down below and let me know what you plan on reading. And I guess that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to give this a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. You don't want to miss these vlogs. And I guess that's it. And I will see you guys on Sunday for the first weekly vlog for Believathon. Bye!